Hello, strategic thinkers. Today, we're diving into something spicy, powerful, and often avoided in polite conversation: conflict. Now, before you click away thinking, ugh, corporate drama, just know that conflict, yes, the kind that gives you stress sweats, might actually be your company's greatest asset, especially when managed well. Here are 5 benefits of conflict. The first one: conflict drives innovation. When different ideas clash, it forces people to challenge assumptions and think creatively. Managed well, conflict can lead to bold new solutions like revolutionary products or game-changing services. Let's start with Steve Jobs. Not just known for wearing turtlenecks and grilling his teams, Jobs was a master of productive conflict. When developing the first iPhone, his engineers wanted a physical keyboard, like BlackBerry. But Jobs, being Jobs, said, nah, we're going full touchscreen. What followed were intense arguments, sleepless nights, and probably a few stress-induced juice cleanses. But out of that conflict, multi-touch technology, the smartphone era, and a million shattered screens. Now let's talk about one of the most gloriously awkward rejections in business history: Netflix. Netflix offered itself to Blockbuster in 2000 for just $50 million. Blockbuster literally laughed, and sent them packing. That rejection fueled Netflix's glow up. Today, Netflix is a streaming giant, and Blockbuster, well, there's only one left. So, when you're faced with conflict that is challenging assumptions, some conversation prompts can be, what assumptions are we making here, and how could we challenge them? Or, let's treat this disagreement as a brainstorm. What's the boldest solution we can come up with together? Let's go to number 2. Conflict strengthens decision-making. Productive disagreement helps teams evaluate options more critically. By considering diverse viewpoints, companies make more informed and balanced decisions that reduce blind spots and risks. Conflict isn't just for spicy innovation, it's great for sharpening decisions. At Amazon, Jeff Bezos basically told his team, you can totally disagree with me, just make sure you commit once we decide. This disagree and commit mindset gave birth to bold moves like AWS, which, fun fact, many people inside Amazon initially thought it was bonkers. Spoiler alert, it's now one of Amazon's biggest moneymakers. Bezos may have skipped haircuts, but he never skipped structured debate. And over in Japan, Toyota engineers were clashing over how to manufacture cars more efficiently. Some wanted to copy Ford's assembly line model, while others were like, no thanks, we can do better. Out of that internal tug-of-war came lean manufacturing, a global gold standard that now makes every MBA student weep with joy, or at least nod thoughtfully in class. Some prompts to enable conflict to sharpen decisions can be, how would you defend each of these options to a skeptic? Or, let's explore the risks and benefits of both paths. What are we not seeing yet? Let's go to number 3. Conflict improves competitive advantage. Rivalries and internal debates push organizations to stay sharp. Whether it's innovating faster, improving quality, or adapting strategy, healthy conflict fuels the race to stay ahead. Now let's talk about Samsung and Apple, 2 tech titans duking it out in courtrooms and showrooms. Their patent wars have led to actual innovation, not just lawsuits. Apple got sleeker, Samsung went bolder, and now we have foldable phones that still don't fit in our pockets. To help ensure conflict can improve competitive advantage, here are some questions that you can ask in a meeting. If our competitor heard this conversation, what would scare them the most? Or, is this disagreement showing us a gap we can turn into a differentiator? All right, number 4, conflict encourages accountability and growth. Conflict reveals what's not working. When people hold each other accountable, teams grow stronger, underperformance gets addressed, and leadership becomes more transparent and effective. Conflict also helps clean house in a good way. Microsoft, pre-2014, was kind of like that awkward group project where no one talks. Then Satya Nadella became CEO and basically said, let's argue respectfully. He ditched the cutthroat vibes, encouraged collaboration, and said goodbye to the Windows-only tunnel vision. Now, Microsoft is dominating cloud services, AI, and productivity tools. And yes, Clippy would be proud. If you're in a meeting and finding that conflict is needed to encourage accountability and growth, here are some things you could say to help push the meeting forward. What's behind this issue, and what can we each own moving forward? Or what does success look like for each of us in this situation? And lastly, number 5, conflict enhances team collaboration. Contrary to popular belief, Disagreement can actually bring teams closer. When handled in a safe, respectful environment, it builds trust, encourages open communication, and strengthens group problem solving. But wait, conflict isn't just for CEOs and courtroom drama. It also boosts teamwork. Pixar, the emotional wizard behind Toy Story and Inside Out, thrives on what they call brain trust meetings. These are sessions where directors get roasted constructively. Everyone throws in unfiltered feedback. No one's ego is safe, but the film gets better every time. That's how Toy Story 2 went from a near disaster to box office gold. And over at Google, they ran Project Aristotle, basically a science experiment on teamwork. Turns out the best teams weren't the ones that agreed on everything. They were the ones where people felt safe to disagree. Structured conflict equals stronger collaboration and better products, like Google Photos or Gmail's undo send button, arguably the greatest invention since sliced bread. Here are some questions you can bring up with your team should conflict arise to enhance team collaboration. Let's slow down and make sure everyone feels heard. What's most important to you in this? Or, where are we actually aligned, even if it doesn't seem like it at first? So, what have we learned? Conflict isn't the villain here. Mismanaged conflict? Sure, that's a recipe for disaster. But when handled thoughtfully, when teams feel safe to disagree, when leaders stay open to debate, and when companies aren't afraid to challenge the norm, conflict becomes rocket fuel. It drives innovation, sharpens decision-making, builds competitive muscle, fosters accountability, and even makes teams tighter and smarter. So, next time you're in a tense meeting or clashing with a colleague, remember, you might just be one argument away from your next breakthrough. Thanks for watching.